Son of man, I have made you a watchman. Whenever you hear a word from my mouth, you shall give them warning from me. Ezekiel 33:7. In a world asleep at the wall, this space exists to sound the alarm, expose the darkness, and equip believers and seekers alike to see, speak, and stand. I'm your host, James Prosko, Christian, husband, father, veteran, and watchman. And today's call is about freedom and consequences. Well, what happens when a man stops pretending that everything is fine? It looks like so many different things, doesn't it? Is it alcohol? Violence? Anger? What form does it come into our lives? Is it pornography, lust, adultery, abuse? What happens when everything stops and we start realizing we're in trouble? What's the first go-to? All you know is that the silence in the room is deafening. The weight of the air feels heavier than it's ever been. And you realize, you look around to see what your choices have accumulated to, what you've produced. Not what God did, not what fate did, but what you did, what I did. And it hits us all at once. You think that you can control it, but you can't. You tell yourself that you'll stop tomorrow, but you don't. You tell yourself those lies to keep the truth quiet just a little bit longer. You're angry, you're ashamed, and you're scared. Scared because you don't know if there's a way back. Scared because it's easier to blame God than it is to face the person in the mirror. And then you hear it or you say it. And we've probably all heard it. Why did God do this to me? Why did God allow this to happen to me? You've heard it before. I'm sure you have. I've heard it. When we don't understand the pain, we reach for the nearest target. And God is really the easiest target, isn't he? Why? Because he doesn't argue back. He doesn't shout at us. But brothers and sisters, the truth is he didn't do it to you. He didn't pour the alcohol into the bottle or the glass. He didn't send a text message to the wrong person. He didn't take the first swing. He didn't make the choice. You did. I did. We did. And he let us. Why? Because love without freedom isn't love at all. It's control. See, we like to think we love the idea of freedom. We talk about it all the time like it's our God-given right. But we don't want to see the truth of freedom, which is that it always costs us something. There's a weight to freedom. Every choice adds up, for good or for bad. By the way, this is not condemnation. Because as much as your choices could be those that we're talking about, they could be glaringly good. You could be listening to this saying, none of this applies to me. I'm a good person. I do and make great choices. Well, we love to hear that. But we're not talking to that person, are we? And maybe the person is listening to us that has made all the right choices. You still know somebody who hasn't. And we know that sooner or later, the balance comes due for choice. That's not God punishing you. That's the world being honest. Actions have consequences. Sometimes they're quiet consequences, like broken trust, broken hearts that drift away, faith that turns into a numb feeling. But sometimes they're loud loud like the divorce papers or jail or another relapse or another funeral. And when it all comes crashing down, and it will come crashing down, the easiest thing for people to say is, well, God must have wanted this. Because if I can say God's at fault, I don't have to carry the weight of it. I don't have to carry the weight of my freedom, my choices. And we don't have to face what freedom really means. But that's not who he is. He doesn't pull strings. He doesn't manipulate outcomes like a puppet master. He gives you and I the space to choose, even when the choices hurt him more than they hurt us. He doesn't pull the love away from you, but he feels the hurt that comes with the lack of love that we have for him. And that's something we just don't think about, is it? When God feels the weight of our freedom too, when he gave it knowing what we'd do with it. He knew all along what we were going to do with it, knowing that we would abuse it, twist it, and break it. And he never stopped us. Not because he didn't care, but because he loved us too much to make us slaves. And that's really what the cross is about, isn't it? God didn't send his son to erase freedom. He sent him to redeem freedom, to redeem it. Every bad decision, every selfish act, every dark night where we turn away, he carries all of it. He didn't cause the pain. He enters into the pain with us. And that's where grace shows up. It's not in a moment before we fall, but in the moment after, when everything's broken, and he is still there, still calling us back to himself, still believing there's something in us worth saving. So when someone says, why did God do this to me? I get it. I understand that. It's a real question. But it might be the wrong question. Maybe the better question that we should ask is, why is he still here? Because if you're still breathing, if you can still hear this right now, then he didn't walk away. And that's what the way to freedom really is, knowing that our choices have power, but his mercy has much, much, much more. Yes, freedom can break you, but it's also the only way back to his love. And that's where we start. So when things fall apart, most of us end up asking that same question. If God's in control, why didn't he stop this? And we don't ask it out of rebellion. We just ask it because we're hurt and we want to make sense of that hurt. And if he's good and he's all powerful, then why does he let that happen? And that question shows up everywhere, in every hospital waiting room, and every room where a mother is praying for their child that doesn't make it, at the graveside when somebody whispers, God must have needed another angel, because they don't know what else to say. In the silence after an argument went way too far, or a morning after another night that we swore it wouldn't happen again. But underneath it's something honest, really. I don't know if I can still trust him. That's what you're really wrestling with. Not whether he exists, but whether he's still good. Whether he's really for me or for you, or whether we're just pawns in some cosmic test. Well, let me put it this way. The Bible doesn't sugarcoat it. In 1 John 1:5, John writes, God is light. In him there is no darkness at all. In James 1:13, James says it even clearer. He says, God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. Those aren't just verses, they're guardrails. They remind us that evil and tragedy don't come from the heart of God. They come from the freedom he gave us and from the brokenness that runs through the world because of what we do with that freedom. See, freedom isn't about politics or choice or doing what we want. It's the ability to love, to choose right, and to respond to truth. And that same freedom that lets us love also lets us wound, betray, ignore, and destroy. And we use it both ways. So when someone says to you, God caused this, what they're really saying is, I can't live with a world where people are free to hurt each other. And that's fair. It's hard to live with. But what would we do if God took that freedom away? None of us could love him back. We'd just obey out of fear or programming. And that's not a relationship, it's survival. The real struggle isn't about control, it's about the relationship. Do I trust that God's character hasn't changed, even when my circumstances have changed? Do I believe that he's still the one that cares, loves, and calls me? Do we still believe he's the one he said he was when everything comes apart? And that's the line we have to walk, because if we start blaming him for every wreck, we teach our hearts to pull away from the only one who can heal it. But if we face what's true, the human freedom can wound and also redeem, then pain starts to look different, doesn't it? He refuses to love us by force. So the question is never, why did God do this? It's, what will I do now that he's still here with me? The story's not over, not for you or not for anyone still breathing. And at some point, after all that anger fades and your excuses run out, you're going to hit a wall. You're going to get tired of defending yourself. And you're going to get tired of blaming God, tired of blaming everybody else around you. And you're just going to want to know, is there a way back? And the good news, the best news, is that yes, there is. But God does not drag us there, but he'll meet you the very second that you turn. And that's the strange mercy of God, isn't it? He respects your will. Even when it breaks his heart, you see it throughout all of Scriptures. From the garden to the cross, he always is inviting, never forcing. He says, come to me, all who have labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Come, not crawl. Choose not to be pushed. And the second you take that step towards him, the very second you move towards him, he moves much faster than you to get to you. And that's who he is. He's not standing there waiting with crossed arms. He runs to you. This is why the story is so impactful of the father and the story of the prodigal son. Because that's how love behaves when it sees a child finally coming home. What most people don't realize is that mercy isn't soft. It's strong enough to wait it out. It's patient, because love is patient. And it's patient enough to let you come to that conclusion, that end yourself. So that when you finally turn, it's real. And mercy says, I'll stay right here until you're ready to see me. I'll be right here when you're ready to turn. And when you do, everything changes. It doesn't erase the past. It redeems the past. The consequences might still be there, and the scars, they still might hurt. But now, instead of being reminders of failure, and they become reminders of grace, proof that you're still standing, proof that he never left you. He never left you, and he promised you, I will never leave you or forsake you. That's the part of freedom nobody talks about. You're not just free to walk away, you're free to return. And that's how much he values your will, your free will. He won't control you. He won't put conditions on you, not when you leave and not when you turn coming back. He wanted honesty, and honesty demands surrender, doesn't it? When you say, I've had enough, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I can't do this, Lord, not anymore, not on my own. That's the doorway. No magic words. It's not a transaction. It's just surrender. You start to feel something different when that happens. When that shift happens, you feel it immediately. That guilt that was dragging you down, it's not there anymore because that conviction starts to lift you up. The guilt that the devil puts on you, you'll never change. You're not going to make it. Conviction says you can start right now. Right now. And that's what God's been waiting for. Not perfection, not performance, just your willingness. Maybe you've been gone a long time. Maybe you feel like you've burned every bridge in front of you and you think there's no way that he still wants you. You're wrong. He has been watching that road ever since you left, and that's who he is. Mercy that waits and grace that runs to you. So when you're ready, and maybe that's you, and maybe that's right now, just turn. That's all it takes. And lastly, I just want to say that there's something nobody likes to admit. We don't like to say it, but freedom doesn't erase the consequence. You can be forgiven and still have to live with what happened. God knows this, and I know in my life this is so true. Our scars, they don't vanish. That can really feel unfair at times. It can feel that grace isn't really moving or working fast enough. But here's what I've learned, that forgiveness and consequence, they're not the same thing. Because forgiveness deals with guilt, and consequences deal with reality. But God meets you in both places. The cross is proof of that. When Jesus hung there, he wasn't escaping the fallout of sin. He was carrying it. He didn't erase the cost. He paid it himself. He didn't step around the wreckage. He walked straight into it. And that's what redemption looks like. It's not God snapping his fingers and making everything tidy. It's God saying to you in the moment, I'll take the full weight of everything that went wrong, and I'll love you through it. And once you see that, the cross starts to make sense in a really new and powerful and beautiful way. And you realize it's not just about forgiveness, it's about identification. God identifying with every failure, every betrayal, every tear, every shattered promise you ever lived through. And he doesn't stand at a distance demanding answers. That's the world. He bleeds right next to you. He cries right next to you. Isn't that what makes us Christians and what we believe different? Other belief systems tell you to rise above pain, to detach from your pain, to balance the scales yourself. But the cross tells a different story. God stepped into the pain because he knew we couldn't carry it alone. The cross doesn't make life easy. It makes life possible. It means the worst thing that you've ever done doesn't have to be the final word. Grace does. So as you're standing in the tension between what you've done and what you're becoming, remember this. Freedom was never meant to save you. It was meant to lead you to the one who could. He already took the hit for every wrong turn. And that's where freedom meets redemption, at the cross, where God took responsibility for what we couldn't fix, and he called it love. You can decide what you believe about him when the dust settles. And for too long, we've let this world paint him as a villain. Every tragedy and every loss, every unanswered prayer gets stamped with his name. And somewhere along the line, people stop trusting the one who never stopped loving us. Clearing God's name isn't about arguing theology or defending him on a social media. It's about living in a way that tells the truth about who he really is. It's about being the evidence that his mercy is real. When you forgive someone who hurt you, you clear his name. When you own your mistakes instead of hiding behind excuses, you clear his name. When you show kindness in a world that feeds outrage, you clear his name. Because you're showing the world what he's actually like. The Bible says, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:16. That's the work. And that's what it means to be a watchman in the real world. Not someone shouting from a wall, but someone standing in the wreckage with a light still burning, because the truth still matters and God's name is still good. This is the Watchman's Call. Thanks for listening, and God bless.